This is 101 Bronson back today with the next Sergio Corbucci movie review, and this is number 4 in the ranking. We're really getting close to finishing the Corbucci series. After this we're in the top 3, but today's movie is Compañeros from 1970, aka Vamos a Matar, Compañeros. This one stars Franco Nero, Tomas, Milian, Jack Palance, Fernando Rey, Berben. Corbucci regulars appear in this film as well. Gino Pernice is in there in a small role. Eduardo Fajardo appears in the movie, but only in the full uncut and extended version, not in the US theatrical cut. And Jose Baldoa appears as General Mongo. Anyway, Compañeros, 1970. I had a blast with this movie. I forgot how much I enjoy this movie. This is more falling into spaghetti western comedy territory, but this is comedy done well. It's not slapstick comedy. It's not in-your-face slapstick comedy, at least for me. The only moment I would somewhat consider slapstick is when Franco Nero lights a match in somebody's nose or whatever. But that was just one joke and worked out very well in my opinion. Anyway, let's get into the plot of this movie. Anyway, the plot of the movie is as follows. There's this Swedish arms dealer called Jodlav Peterson, played by Franco Nero, who comes into San Bernardino to sell arms to General Mongo. In town he meets El Vasco, played by Tomas Milian, who doesn't like him, and because Franco Nero is dressed very smart, elegantly dressed in a black suit with a white shirt and everything, he's being very quickly dubbed as the Penguin by El Vasco. Anyway, those two cross paths, doesn't go well. Then General Mongo comes into town, and Franco Nero wants his payment, and General Mongo says, well, the money is in this vault here, but we don't know the combination. The only one who knows the combination is Professor Santos, who's a resident of there, one of the revolutionaries, but he's away, he's in Texas. So he offers Franco Nero to go to Texas and go and get Professor Santos, played by Fernando Rey. And he takes Tomas Milian along with him, and one thing leads to another. They rescue Professor Santos, and they have to get him back to San Bernardino. And let's just say while on the way they learn a couple of things about each other, and also about their values and morals. Also along the way they're being chased by Jack Palance, who plays John, who was a former associate of Franco Nero's character of Peterson, and who, let's just say, he has a bone to pick with Franco Nero. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the basic gist of the film. Plenty of action, plenty of high octane action, great acting from the 3 leads, and also most of the side characters do a great job in acting. It is a very good film. It is a very, very good spaghetti western. I've always been calling this as sort of the unofficial remake of Corbucci's earlier film, The Mercenary, and I like to think of it as that way. It's very similar to The Mercenary. Of course, it does some plot points differently, but basically you have these 3 characters. It's about a Mexican Revolution. You have Franco Nero as a European mercenary or arms dealer who offers himself to the highest bidder. You have a peasant, in this case played by Tomas Milian, and the mercenary who was Tony Massanti, who has a love-hate relationship with Franco Nero's character. And then you have Jack Palance in both movies as the villain, who has a bone to pick with Franco Nero's character. So like I said, yeah, Mercenary is the better version of if one can call it that, of the same basic story elements. However, Compañeros is damn entertaining. There is this there's some great action scenes along the way. Iris Berben, I think, does a great job as the main love interest for Thomas Milian's character Vasco, as Lola. She plays the character of Lola. Like I said, there's some comedy elements in this one, but it's good comedy. You know, it's not slapstick, it's not in your face, it's good comedy. You know, there's this whole thread of this whole story thread going throughout the entire film about this dollar that Franco Nero gave Tomas Milian's character, and he keeps asking, "Hey, Penguin, why did you give me the dollar?" You know, stuff like that. And finally, by the end, it leads to a great conclusion during the climax. And he says, "Now you're going to tell me why you give me the dollar." And he says, "Well, I made myself a bet that within 10 minutes I come into San Bernardino, I meet a jackass. And I give that jackass a dollar." And yeah, that's why he gave him a dollar in the beginning of the film. Speaking of the end, let's just go straight into spoiler talk. It doesn't end in a typical standoff duel way. It sort of builds up to that, where it is Franco Nero against Tomas Milian. They're going to you know, shoot it out. But then Jack Palance's men are there. You know, one is sort of behind Franco Nero and the other is somewhat behind Tomas Milian. And they only have one bullet each in their pistol, because they're going to do it Mexican style, a Mexican style shootout. But what ends up happening, Lola, she has to ring the bell, and then the two, you know, proceed to shoot each other. Anyway, she rings the bell, but both men have noticed Jack Palance's men behind, you know, behind their adversary, let's say. Anyway, the bell rings and they shoot, you know, Jack Palance's men. And basically they don't kill each other then, which is good because, well, after that Jack Palance turns up for the climax one last time, and yeah, then Professor Santos gets involved as well. It's a great climax. It's a great climax.
No! Hit the ground!
Speaking of Jack Palance, that man, Jack Palance, he made a great villain in the movies always. You know, I loved him in The Mercenary. One thing that I do think is better in Compañeros versus The Mercenary is Jack Palance's role as the villain, or his character, pretty much. I think his character was more interesting in Compañeros than it was in The Mercenary. I like the whole aspect of him having unfinished business with Franco Nero, because Franco Nero left him to die, and his pet bird Marsha, he had to in order to save Jack Palance, the bird chewed off his hand, so he has a wooden hand. And you know, Jack Palance has been holding a grudge against Franco Nero's character since that, and I really did like that. I really did like that aspect to it. And all in all, I mean, I'm looking over my review notes that I took. Pretty much covered everything. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this yet. I don't see why I haven't mentioned this yet, but the music is by Ennio Morricone, and I love the soundtrack. It's a catchy main theme. You find yourself humming it and singing it along and whistling it for hours after you watch it. It's a great soundtrack. You know, the main theme, you know, vamos a matar, compañeros, which, you know, roughly translated means let's go and kill compañeros. But so you're basically singing let's go and kill compañeros, which is funny. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm looking over the review notes. Yeah, Iris Berben, I think, is great. The comedy was good. There's great action scenes, high paced, high octane. One particular scene I do have to mention is also towards the end. Big shootout in San Bernardino when Tomas Milian and Franco Nero rescue Professor Santos from being killed by General Mongo. And then, you know, Franco Nero has this portable, I mean, I don't think it was made to be portable, but he has he's toting a machine gun around, you know, reminds everybody of Django, of course. And it's a fantastic scene. He's shooting people left, right, and center. All in all, I don't have too many complaints. I think I covered everything. This is a fantastic film. I'm gonna give Compañeros from 1970. I'm gonna give this movie a 4-star rating out of 5. I truly recommend this movie. If any of you haven't seen it, this is one of the Corbucci ones I would definitely recommend to start with if you guys haven't seen any of his work, because it has Franco Nero, who of course was in Django and also in The Mercenary. Or some other Corbucci films. Tomas Milian is in this one. He's a spaghetti western regular. He's made so many, and he steals the show in this one. There's no doubt about it. This may be Franco Nero's movie. He may be the star, you know, first build, top billing. But this is Tomas Milian's movie. He steals it. That's a damn fact. Anyway, that's Compañeros from 1970. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for next week, where we will be taking a look at the next Sergio Corbucci movie, which will be my number 3 in the ranking, The Mercenary from 1968. Yeah, like I said, I like it just a bit more than Compañeros, so we'll take a look at this next week. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, this has been 101 Bronson, a original YouTube channel since the 27th of January 2013. I have to plug myself. I made this own t-shirt, so I as well plug myself. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are doing well, staying safe and healthy. And I will see you guys in the next review. Take care and adios, compañeros.
He sells death to the highest bidder. He'll sell your life for what he thinks it's worth. He is the mercenary.